So for your reference, Carlin's over there preparing to begin the recording. We're gonna video record so that you can look back on this and identify the strengths and growth areas that you want to focus on for yourself. And how this will work is you'll be interviewed by all three of us. We'll rotate through questions. I will ask a question, Laura will ask a question, Carlin will ask a question. We'll go back through. And then at the end of the interview this morning, you'll have an opportunity to ask us any questions you might have about roles in this process, IRA week, this interview. Okay. Any questions before we get started?
No.
Great. So before we get started, I would love to learn which of the job descriptions in the back of your IRA packet you selected to interview for today.
Network?
Networking. Great. Thank you. There's really only one question that's tailored directly toward the job description, so that's helpful. So to start, share with me a little bit about, or share with us a little bit about what you were doing before you joined Year Up in March, and what led you to want to participate in this program.
Before I joined Year Up in March, I was actually attending Laney trying to take psychology classes because I figured before I joined back into Year Up, I'd rather get some more college experience and be more into school and further myself education-wise before I come back here and further myself another way.
Great. Thank you. And so what led you to want to participate in this program?
I just found it as a really good opportunity. I'm sort of an opportunist, and I seen this opportunity when I was actually at SVCTE, a career technical program in a training center in the Silicon Valley, and they came and did their information session, and it really it spoke to what kind of job I wanted, and it spoke to the kind of person I was, so I found it a great opportunity.
Thank you.
So then why are you interested in working in tech?
I'm interested in working in tech because it's just since I was younger, it was the most interesting thing to me. I built my first computer at fifth grade, and it's like everything I've done after that is just out of pure curiosity. Like I did graphic design just to learn how to change my images and do different things on Photoshop and using Cinema 4D and different programs.
All right, so this next question has a couple of pieces. So the first piece is, what has been your biggest challenge or growth area during learning and development? Then the second piece is, how did you work to overcome that? And then the third piece is, looking ahead to internship, what steps are you going to take to ensure that you keep growing in that area?
Okay, the biggest thing that I've been working on in the L&D phase is my emotional reaction to situations, like when I get infractions or I get feedback or different situations like that, and I've been working on that by trying to stay clear-headed and know that it's not coming from a negative place, and know that it's for my career development, it's for my preparation for my next stage. And I know that at work that it's not going to be as lenient as here, and it's not going to be as easygoing, so I'm trying to work. Well, I am working on that, and for my internship, I plan on working on that by just keeping a positive mindset and trying to understand that whatever they're telling me is for my own development. It's not coming from a negative place.
Thank you. So with the networking internship job description in mind, what makes you a good candidate for an internship role in networking?
With the job description that was read for the networking thing, for the networking position, I think that it would be a good match because it sounds like a lot of robust activity, like maintaining the database and doing all these different switches and working with the network. I feel like it would be a good fit for the kind of energy level I have and the kind of I feel like that position specifically, networking, is like a lot of coding and different activities that I'm not so familiar with, and I really want to I have a thirst for knowledge, and I really want to learn everything I can in that field before I move on to the next, whatever comes next in tech for me.
Great, thank you so much. Well, while Laura writes the notes, I have one more question for you about that. Why networking? Why does networking feel like the next step for you?
Because during my years of IT experience and trainings, I never went in depth into networking. I feel like that's a place that I might be good at because I've been doing a little researching and doing a little bit of practicing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great. So can you tell me about a time where you had a lot of work to do and not a lot of time, and how you made sure that you met the deadline and still provided quality work?
Well, there was actually this week, there was a week in Europe where we were like assigned, we weren't assigned in that week, but we were assigned like weeks before, different final project deadlines, and that week that we had all the deadlines due, it was like, all the projects weren't so complete, they were partly done, but they weren't all the way complete, so I had to like prioritize which project was due at what time, and I set all my energy into doing this project before this deadline hit. And once I complete this project, I'm gonna move on to the next project and continuously, strategically hit the projects like that.
Diving into that a little bit, can you describe a system that you use to stay organized, like how you keep track of deadlines, action items, and follow-ups for different conversations?
I actually write those in my notebook. I don't use a planner, or I don't put it in my phone. I just write it in my notebook, and I refer back to my notebook.
How do you ensure that that works well for you?
I've gotten to the mind state now every time I go into a class or into a meeting that I just pull out my notebook. So I keep, whenever I have anything like that, I just put it in the notebook.
Thank you. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to ask you scenario-based questions. I'm going to give you a potential work situation, and I would like to know what steps would you take, how would you respond to this project, and take action. So imagine that you're asked to organize a room with a lot of tech equipment, disorganized tech equipment. It is everywhere. What tools and processes would you use to keep track of what's in there, what gets taken out?
It depends on what you use in your tech equipment.
Cool, so I'm gonna break it down. We're in this room, and all this equipment you see in here, everything from, I don't know what that is, but that box, to those things up there, to these computers here, are in here, but there are no tables, none of them are connected, they're just in a big pile in the middle of the room. Your job is to come in here and create a process to track this inventory. What steps do you take? What resources and processes do you use?
To track it or to set it up?
Track it.
To track it, I would assign each device a sticker number and a sticker ID, so we can, and then I will put that in like an Excel sheet, and then have them all in there, so whenever we can refer to like which one do we have, we can see that it's in the system and like it's the one that's actually in the room.
Okay, great. And what process might you implement to keep track of the inventory beyond the organization of it? So to know if something's removed from the room?
We could, if somebody removes anything, then we can set up a system to where it has to be like a checkout for the certain ID number that we get via whatever device.
Okay.
We can organize a checkout to where they sign out, and that sign out is linked to the ID number of the device, and we can track who has the device and when they signed it out and everything.
Thank you.
Final question, perhaps? Want to know?
We have time for a couple more.
That was good.
Okay, I will end it.
So the tech world moves really quickly. Can you talk about how you stay informed about what's going on so that you can be on track for everything?
I actually just like check out tech websites and look at YouTube videos of like different releases and different like conferences and different items that are going out into the market, and just like really, and then it's like if something that I'm looking at or researching really catches my eye, I search that and research more into whatever it was that caught my eye out of that, and it goes deeper as you get more interested into different things.
All right, so the next question is going to be